Networking is a great way to get your name out there, build your brand, and land new opportunities. And in this video, I'll show you a low stress, effective way to start networking. So a lot of people, when they think of networking, they think going out there, being salesy, giving elevator pitches, and just getting in these uncomfortable situations that you probably don't want to be in. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. Networking actually can be very natural and conversational, and it does not need to feel like you're selling someone something. So my top networking tip here is to be genuine. The name of the game here, when you think about networking, it is all about making connections. So when you reach out and you're genuinely trying to get to know someone and asking about them and, treating it like any kind of relationship, you're going to see much better results, and it's going to be a much more pleasant experience than if you're, just cold outreaching into people trying to sell them something. So that's the big tip here. Don't go in selling. To network, you don't have to go in and say, oh, I'm an instructional designer and I'm looking for work, so if you have anything, send it my way. That's not really trying to get to know someone. That's trying to get money from them so they pay you. So even if you are looking for work, that's not what you should be going into these conversations with and hoping that in the next few minutes they'll drop a project on your lap and you'll be invoicing them by the end of the day. That is how some people approach this, and it is not very effective. So just a quick tip, if you want to think of what you can contribute, I would suggest going into these conversations or when you reach out to people, ask them questions about themselves, learn more about what it is that they do, what their pain points are, how they got to where they are. And if you're only asking because you want to pitch your services, again, you're not going about this the right way. The idea is to be genuinely interested in people and what it is that they're doing. And I bet you will learn something throughout the conversation, and maybe it would make sense for you to partner up with that person down the line. But again, that's not what the focus is. You can try to help that person. So if they do bring up something that they're struggling with and you know of a resource or something, you can point them in that direction. You can share what you know in that conversation, just as if you were helping a friend, for example, if you have the time. So that's that third point, to share. So if you have resources, share them with your audience, share them with the people you're talking to. The idea here is to just be genuine, be kind, share what it is that you're working on, share resources that can help other people. And the more, the more people that you are connecting with and they learn who you are and what you stand for and what you're about and what your skill set is, then when the opportunity does come across their desk where you might be a good fit, they'll reach out to you. So you're not the one selling, you're building these connections and relationships, and then when people know you and they like you and they trust you, you're the person they'll turn to for work. So that's my 2 cents on networking, and hopefully this helps relieve some stress for people who have struggled with networking. It doesn't need to be some, stressful sales situation. All it is just building relationships, getting to know people. Don't feel any undue pressure. So as far as where to network, especially if you're an instructional designer, social media across the board is going to be a good place. LinkedIn is probably the best place to network in the instructional design and e-learning space, just because the community is so active there and it is very professional. So that's where I'm the most active by far. There is an instructional design audience on Twitter, but the conversations aren't always professional or work related. I don't use Facebook myself, but I hear that there are some Facebook groups out there that may help instructional designers, usually associated with some sort of paid product. And there are Instagram. I know there's an audience or an active instructional design community on Instagram, just because I do get requests to follow my Instagram page, which I'm not active on, so I'm sorry if I did not accept that. But LinkedIn is definitely the main one here. You can comment, you can post, you can message people directly once you're connected with them. So, and the feed is usually pretty instructional design focused if you're following the right people and interacting with the right with instructional design content and creators. So that's a really good place to go. And then also I have a Slack community for instructional designers and e-learning developers. I really like how that has grown over the last 6 months or so. So that's really good for like real-time chat room style communication. People reach out there when they need help. People share their portfolios or their projects there and get feedback. So it's a really good place to just help people, share what you're working on, and when needed, ask for help from the community. So some people are doing a really good job of building their presence there and across LinkedIn. So good stuff. Be active on social media, especially in these days when everything is remote. Like, it makes so much sense to just network online. So that's really what you can network from your couch, from your desk so easily. You don't need to go to a paid conference, for example. Which brings me to my next place. This is really the dynamic duo, like, networking on social media, but then also attend some live events. That is a great place to network because everyone who's at that live event together feels a sense of community, and people break out into mini conversations in the chat. Sometimes people are sharing their LinkedIn profiles at these events and connecting off of or outside of the event. So, and usually the events are focused on some sort of professional development, of course. Like, for example, I do some live streams on Crowdcast, on my Crowdcast channel, which I can link below. There are some great YouTube content creators. I know Kath Ellis and Karen North have been doing YouTube live streams, so follow them if you aren't already. And yeah, just every time I'm at one of these live events in the instructional design and e-learning space, there is such a great sense of community in the chat, and the creators are usually engaging with the chat as well. So it's a great way to get your name out there, help people where you can, see what other people are struggling with and passionate about. So again, low stress, be genuine, help where you can, share what you're working on to get your name out there. If you do want to learn more about using LinkedIn effectively for not only networking, but also landing paid work, I do have an entire video on that, which I will link in a card in the top right. And if you enjoyed this video and it was helpful or helped your perspective, please go ahead and like and subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you in the next video.